When God created man in the garden, He said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness." God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. Genesis 1:26-27. Thus we were made in the image of God, and from our bodies we can gain a glimpse of who our God is. So let's learn who God is through the embodiment of the prophecy.
Put your finger in the air, in the air. Put your finger.
The fingers are an extension of the hands, and the fingers of God have created the expanse of the universe. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have ordained, what is man that you take thought of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Psalms 8:3.
Put your finger on your head,
And the 10 Commandments were written by the finger of God. For as Moses testified, "The Lord gave me the 2 tablets of stone written by the finger of God, and on them were all the words which the Lord had spoken with you at the mountain from the midst of the fire on the day of the assembly." It came about at the end of 40 days and nights that the Lord gave me the 2 tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. Deuteronomy 9:10-12.
finger on your shoe, on your shoe.
And in remembrance of His 10 Commandments, God asks that we bind them on our 10 fingers that we may live. My son, keep my words and treasure my commandments within you. Keep my commandments and live, and my teaching as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Proverbs 7:1-3. And the root of the Hebrew word for fingers is etsba, which means to dip. And God commanded that the priests dip their finger in the blood and place it on the altar. You shall take some of the blood of the bull and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and you shall pour out all the blood at the base of the altar. Exodus 29:12. And the priests were commanded to dip their finger in the oil and place it on the altar and on the people. The priest shall also take some of a log of oil and pour it into his left palm. The priest shall then dip his right hand finger into the oil that is in his left palm, and with his finger sprinkle some of the oil 7 times before the Lord. Of the remaining oil which is in his palm, the priest shall put some on the right earlobe of the one to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on the blood of the guilt offering, while the rest of the oil that is in the priest's palm he shall put on the head of the one to be cleansed. Leviticus 14:15-17. But despite God's commands, the priests did not lift one finger for the people. So the Son chastises the priests. They tie up heavy burdens and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves are unwilling to move them with so much as a finger. Matthew 23:2. Thus the Son would come to fulfill the duties of the priests. As he continued to say, "Do not be called Rabbi, for one is your teacher, and you are all brothers. Do not call anyone on earth your father, for one is your Father, he who is in heaven. Do not be called leaders, for one is your leader, that is Christ. But the greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself shall be exalted. Matthew 23:11-12. And the day soon shall come when God's mighty finger shall judge mankind. And on that day man shall bow down to God's finger. For in that day man will have regard for his Maker, and his eyes will look to the Holy One of Israel. He will not have regard for the altars, the work of his hands, nor will he look to that which his fingers have made.